Chilly days and cold, frosty nights in a not so particularly cold pattern was the title of the video back on Saturday afternoon, and I'm sticking with that idea. We've got a very powerful area of high pressure at the 1045 millibars at the core, bang slap over northern UK, but underneath that area of high pressure to the south, we've got a pretty nagging east and northeasterly wind that is creating quite a bitter feel as those winds blow in off the North Sea. But on the face of the thermometer, temperatures under the high itself under clear, calm conditions at or around the freezing mark. But further south, we've got 5s and 6s, even in southeastern Scotland. And across the bulk of England and Wales, we're talking about 6 to 8 Celsius. Across parts of Ireland as well, anywhere from 2 Celsius in Western Northern Ireland to as mild as 8 Celsius down towards the Jamestown area, Johnstown Castle, down in the southeast of the Republic of Ireland. But we do have, like I say, a high pressure dominated pattern. If we look at the CFSV2 for the upcoming 7-day period, we've got this block to the north and a kind of trapped, stuck trough underneath, somewhat of a cut-off feature here across the majority of France and down into Iberia also. If we look at the current temperatures across the continent, they look like this at the time of recording, which is just after 5 p.m. this Monday evening. We've got the chilly air across southern portions of Norway and Sweden, relative chill across the bulk of Central and Eastern Europe, slightly chilly air across the north of Iberia here, but slightly milder, 15, 16 Celsius, down across the far south of Spain as well as Portugal. Looking at the current temperatures of Highland Weather Network, you can see here that around the coast where you've got a little bit of breeze, where temperatures generally 5, 6, 7 Celsius at the moment. But underneath shelter and where the skies are relatively clear, we're already talking about temperatures dropping pretty quickly out there, and we could see temperatures close to minus 10 during the overnight tonight. Temperatures this morning, this is how they were looking. So you can see here if I play through. Unfortunately, this is just for Scotland. I don't have figures for the rest of the UK, but it was a chilly old night down across South Highland, for example, parts of Highland Perthshire. We're talking about temperatures minus 3 to minus 5 Celsius in a few spots, minus 6 near the Tindrum area. And then if we pan further up, you can see here a mixture of temperatures here. Again, where there's a little bit of either cloud or breeze, the temperatures were above the freezing mark. In shelter, below freezing. And the current extremes as of just after 5 p.m, you can see here, let's have a look at snow depth actually, just to see if there's any figures that we can see. Is it showing up anything? No, it isn't. Let's have a look and see the current extremes. So just to see the warmest temperatures versus the mildest temperatures. So we've got an 8 Celsius right on the far east of Lothian here. You can see at Eyemouth, while we've got a minus 5.3 at Glen Lyon at the moment in South Highland. So we could be talking temperatures close to minus 10, especially on this network where you tend to have slightly colder readings than elsewhere. There's a few of these locations in particularly cold spots, little frost hollows where the temperature drops a good 3 or 4 degrees colder than the surrounding area. Looking at the latest of the GFS model, this is the overview precipitation, cloud, temperature and pressure. There's that elongated, stretched out area of high pressure extending from the Azores all the way up to southern portions of Norway. At the moment, we've got this trapped area of low pressure, creating all sorts of unsettled conditions over the Mediterranean and southern countries of Europe here. We've got some wintry precipitation also on the northern flank of that divide between the low to the south and the high to the north. Play through over the next few days, not a great deal of change. We're going to see temperatures struggling to get much above freezing, especially where frost develops through the central belt, for example, and a few other spots where the frost lingers and the fog, should I say, lingers. We're going to see temperatures below freezing throughout the course of the day. The sun angle is pretty much at its weakest of the entire year, and therefore when you've got this stagnant, stable air mass with cold trapped underneath it, it doesn't really shift. This isn't a particularly cold air mass, it has to be said, but the conditions are that it creates a lid in the atmosphere, trapping the chill both by day, but also building the cold during the overnight period as well under radiational cooling conditions. But you can see here as we play all the way out to the middle and even the second half of the week, still high pressure dominating. We're going to start to slacken those winds further south across England and Wales as the high starts to kind of build a little bit further south also. We're slightly weakening the high compared to what it is now, 1045 versus probably close to 1030 millibars by the time we reach the latter half of Thursday. So we slightly weaken the high, but it changes a little shape. We're seeing less in the way of winds, so therefore temperature shouldn't be too bad with a less strong easterly flow coming in from the North Sea and also from Scandinavia. But like I say, this isn't an overly cold air mass. Playing through the loop, we start to turn a little bit more unsettled towards the end of the week, into the weekend. We've got a slight northwesterly flow, but it's not coming from a particularly cold source, so therefore it's chillier, no doubt, but not particularly cold. If we look at the 850s here, we do have some cold air coming in, but again, it's not from a direct Arctic source. Then as we play through the weekend, we've got milder conditions coming in off the Atlantic. If you look back at the CFS V2 for week 2, so this is the temperature anomalies upcoming 7 days off the CFS, and it's chilly across UK, Ireland, and as well as that across the bulk of Western mainland Europe. Then if we play through to this days 8 through 14, again, phase 5 in the 6 of the MJO, this is not a particularly cold phase, it has to be said. And I think overall, December's starting to play out quite nicely, I think, based on the ideas that I had. But if we look back at the upper chart here for the 8 to 14 day period, we're starting to see more westerly dominance, high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. That is quite a classic positive NAO signal for the period between the 16th through the 20th, 23rd of December, and milder than average conditions as a result. Looking at precipitation for the upcoming week, drier than average, no surprise here. Very little in the way of rain, really, which is good news for areas of the country that have seen a lot over the weekend and beyond. And we turn slightly wetter in the 8 to 14 day period. Short and sweet today. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with more. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Bye for now.